That's life. All right, we're gonna be talking about breaking down the lyrics of one of my favorite songs, "That's Life." It wasn't originally by Frank Sinatra, but I do like his version. Now, just to give a little background story on this song, basically, if you read this song, it's basically about like what life is about, and usually it has like a negative connotation. It's like, yeah, that's life. But in this case, Frank Sinatra does a little. He tries to see it more in like a positive outlook. But the funny part is during the recording, when he was doing it first, he wasn't as angry. So basically, the person was like, "You know what, Frank, you need to be a little, a little bit more angry." And so he has a little scowl in that, and they really like that scowl. So yeah, they continue with the song. So let's get started with actually breaking down the lyrics. So as you can see here, it's a very simple rhyming scheme. It's just A B B. So say, May, tune, June, seem, dream, down, around. Very simple. Nothing too fancy going on here, unless you think I don't know, like try and fly are just complicated for me. But you know what? It's what it is. So let's go a little bit here. So the meaning of this right here is that's life. That's what all the people say. So one thing I really like is in the beginning, where he gives it that punch. He's like, "That's life." He's just like that really like punch. He gives a very like, it's like, "That's life," and being all somber. It's more like it's like a kick to the face. So there's that, and basically it's like very conversational, very casual. What I really like here is that he says, "You're riding high in April, shot down in May. I know I'm gonna change that tune, but when I'm back on top in June." So right here, he's basically showing that the progression goes from April, May, June. So just like in life, he's comparing it to like as life goes on, time goes on. April, the bad things in the beginning, you know, actually the opposite. In April, you're doing good. In May, something bad happens, and then June, you know that you're gonna rise. So he's trying to like put that in a way that we can relate to whether when it's in months, because with the months we know it's bound to happen. In this way, he's trying to say that like it's going to happen. What it may not happen in June, but he's gonna rise up. Let me see. He also emphasizes back on top, back on top. And what he also does right here in the beginning is he also changes the, not the pitch, but he also goes back high. So, that's life when I'm back on, he goes very back up. And wow, I just forgot the pitch on that. But he goes back on top. So let's go to the second verse. So basically, he's just saying, it's life, bad things happen, but I'm going to come out amazing at the end. So the second verse is he's basically saying that, okay, this is life. Some people get their kicks, some people like get their joy and like stepping on other people's dreams, but that's not going to affect me. And what he's really saying here is just, as funny as it may seem, a dream down round. So nothing special happening here. Nothing special happening with the actual syllable count. But you can see that it repeats right here. Don't let it get me down. They're using stompin', spinning. Very, I won't say like, it's super casual, but it's not like, it might have been very casual like when the song was popular, but it's not popular right now, but it still sounds pretty cool. So there's that. Some people get their kicks. I really like this imagery because like instead of saying some people find their joy or just like literally expressing it like verbatim, he tries to do it in this little roundabout way, which I kind of like. So there's that. And now for the chorus. The chorus is a little. I really like this part right here. You can see they use alliteration: puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn. Now I don't know. This might have been intentional or not, but when you use a lot of P sounds, it's very biting. So I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn. And it probably sounds pretty bad on my mic without a pop filter, but basically it's just like that nice poppy kick bite feeling to it. And then you get to see he's been up and down and over and out. And I know one thing. And he's just like, he's basically describing stuff, you know? You know? I've been, each time I find myself flat on my face, I pick myself and get back in the race. So basically, it's just a very simple thing. It was basically like, imagine a hustler, like someone just like that's hustling to get to their dreams. That's kind of what I get this vibe from this song, especially the way that he expresses it. So there's, okay, all right. This is where it gets starting to get a little unique, because in the second verse, he does something a little different. In the second verse, the syllable counts don't really match up, and there's one where it's just like super long, and you know what, it just works. He also does some unique things right here. He doesn't rhyme with, you know, say and may. He doesn't use, he uses the same exact words. And the one thing I really like is right here, this line right here. The reason why I really like it is because it's like saying, like, you know, if it wasn't worth it, you know, I don't have to do it. But basically he uses some sort of description where it's vague, but you kind of get it. So it's like, you know, if this doesn't work, you know, I could, you know, fly to a vacation, try something else. I could do something else. Maybe it's a metaphor for, like, you know, there's so many places in life. It leaves it vague so that there's room for interpretation. And when there's room for interpretation, you can dive a lot deeper, like this video. So basically, it's like what like an English professor would like. Then we go here. For the second chorus, the only things that we have to pay attention to are the two words that he asks. So right here, each time I find myself laying flat on my face, right here is just, I wouldn't say it's more for like this meaning behind it, but it helps get that rhythm going. So up and down and over and out, and I know one thing. Each time I find myself laying flat on my face. Oh my god, I'm singing off pitch. But basically, it's just like it's keeping the rhythm going. So in the first part, it's just like, you know, it's nice. There's a nice pause. You know, if you happen to fall down, you know, you get back up. This one gives it a little more urgency because there's more words. It picks it up a little bit faster. And same thing right here. I just picked myself up and get back in the race. It adds a little bit more words, which forces the song to go a little bit more faster, like less, you know, holding out, and it gives it a little more like urgency. And at the very end, he's like, "That's life." You know, he whatchamacallit? Oh my god, I'm blanking out right now. Basically, he repeats it. There we go. He repeats it. He also repeats this part, "I can't deny it," right around here. So if you can see along this whole song, he's basically repeating the same idea and even the same sentence, but in a different way. Like, for example, you know, many times I thought I cut it out, but my heart won't buy it. And he says something right here about, I thought I quitting, baby, but my heart just ain't gonna buy it. You know, I can't deny it. I can't deny it. And as you can see, there's a reason why a lot of pop songs use repetition. But the way he does it is he basically makes it so that he says the same exact thing in a different way, if you get what I mean. So basically, he didn't say exactly the same sentence, which a lot of pop songs do nowadays, but basically he says the same exact thing in a different way so that it gives a little bit more variety. And when there's variety, you know, people like variety. So, and it's a popular song, so, you know, I'm just saying. But what I also like about here is this line. And the reason why I really like this line is because he adds, so if there's nothing shaking come this here July, the way he sings it is emphasize it, like the words are shaking. It's like, but if there's nothing shaking come this, oh my god. basically, he switches his melody up and down in each single syllable to emphasize the shaking part in this part. And then he ends it with, I'm going to roll myself up in a big bowl and die. My, my. So yeah, that's about it for the lyric analysis. Let me know if this was kind of helpful or not. Yeah.